Hey, y'all know what I started doing? Y'all know what I started doing recently, like that I've done way too many times, but I'm never gonna stop doing it to the day I'm no longer on this earth.
Season's on episode.
I start rewatching the Justice League. Start rewatching the Justice League again, man.
Yeah, that's the top tier show. Yeah, I rewatched it during the pandemic.
It's so good. It's so like I've seen it like 5 times. Literally know what's gonna happen in every episode. Like, and also, can I just say this? I think that was the best DC show ever in terms of like Vandal Savage representation. Like there was never a better Vandal Savage than that one. I mean,
I would agree. God. I would agree. But you know, the like the Flash, the Arrow, and all that was close seconds though. Like them live action ones. They followed on movies, but they
no, what you call it? Lasted too long. Flash lasted too long.
It's still going, right?
Yeah, it's still going.
The last season just came out. Last season just ended.
It's the Grey's Anatomy of superhero shows. It's the Grey's Anatomy of superhero shows.
Man, once we had season 5, they was like, not eating. They went to the time warp. That old girl Flash. Now we went through another one. Now it's a grandma Flash. I'm like, bro, come on, now.
So many ways. It's only so many ways that he can lose his speed and get it back. Like, there's only so many ways. Y'all do this every season.
Lose his speed every season and get it back the same way every season.
Every time.
His wife got the speed. I was like, all right, y'all.
Man, yeah. Once she got the speed, I'm like, yeah, I can't keep watching.
It was like the show. Y'all ever seen the Invincible show where like you remember the movie Invincible where they took the pill and like their brain it unlocked 100% of your brain and like
you bought Limitless.
Or Limitless, not Invincible, Limitless. I don't know why I said Invincible. By the way, Invincible season 2 finna come out. Need it. But anyway, Limitless, the show. Have y'all ever seen Limitless show?
No, only seen the movie.
Man, the show, it was actually good. It started off good. The first season was like really good. It was a great spinoff of the movies. And it like tied in, like they were in the same universe. So it was like Bradley Cooper is about to become president and all this. But like they're not focused on Bradley Cooper. They're focused on another random guy who like got the pill and all that. And it's great. And then by the end of season 2, everybody was taking the Limitless pill. And it's like, all right, bro, it's not fun no more. Like when you give it to everybody, it's just not fun. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about, man. We got some on the court stuff. Of course, the NBA Finals is going on. We got some off the court stuff. I never thought that we would be talking about Mariah Mills on this show. I literally, of all the things that you could have told me, we're going to be talking about this on this show.
And before we get into it, can I say mid?
Really?
I've seen some game tapes. Very mid.
Really? That's interesting. That's interesting. That's an interesting take.
I got a list of overrateds. Is she up there?
Oh my God! Not too chatted. Overrated at the screen. Overrated.
we need to do one of the Mel Kiper type shows for that.
Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that because we're gonna get canceled. We're gonna get canceled at that point. But never thought we'd be talking about her on this show. But you know that's why we called this. That's why we titled this show "Guns and Buns: A South Carolina Addiction Story" because Zion is apparently addicted to buns, and Ja Morant is addicted to toy guns, allegedly. And so, you know, we got to get into all that. And can we finally stop bringing up Bron? It's getting annoying. We're going to get into that. Y'all ready, fellas?
Ready?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Well, let's get into it. What's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the facts over at Axe Crew. We got the master, the mix master, Josh Guyton in the building.
That is I.
This man wearing the John Cena shirt. We might have to kick him out of here, bro. We might have to kick him out of here, man.
Hey, you know what? If I get kicked out, you get kicked out. Because how did you recognize that it was a John Cena shirt?
Because I thought to myself, hustle, loyalty. Oh, because that was right when I stopped watching wrestling.
Okay,
literally,
right.
John Cena was the reason I stopped watching wrestling.
He was the reason I stopped watching too. I stopped watching for like 6 years. He was the reason I stopped watching.
Bro, when I saw him, I'm like, oh, he like us. Like, bet he got to be from the hood. The hard streets of what? Broxton, Massachusetts?
West Newbury.
Sounds very tough out there.
That's actually 30 minutes from me right now. Where I'm at right now. It's 30 minutes.
When they had John Cena submit Triple H and Shawn Michaels at back-to-back WrestleManias, I'm like, yeah, bro, I can't take this disrespect no more. I can't take this disrespect.
That was enough. We got the money man, Chris Allen in the building.
Right here.
And then we got little old MC, that's me, Kenton Gibbs. Now, folks, we got to start off with a Would You Rather because we always do. And the question today is give me one celebrity that if you had to pick a celebrity to beef with, you would pick them, and one celebrity that, like, avoid at all costs. I would never, if you say I got to beef with him to slap my mama, my Duke's just going to have to catch a backhand today. What does that look like for you?
Just to keep up with the trend of last week to stay in the content world, I'm a beef with Kai Cenat.
Really?
Because why not? He know how to make a bag. I feel like we could get to a point to where we can figure out how to milk this beef or whatever it is for as much as possible so we can run those numbers.
I feel it. Okay. And who's the celebrity that you would avoid at all costs? Like, hey, if he want to beef me, she want to beef with me, I don't want no smoke.
The first thing that came to mind was Mike Tyson. I don't know why. I don't see a universe why me, Mike Tyson, would be beefing. We 40 years apart in age, but I don't care. Mike Tyson could be 100 years old. He'd be the only 100-year-old on that planet that I wouldn't scrap.
Oh, that's fair.
That left hook not going nowhere.
That's fair. All right, Chris, who would you have beef with, and who is the person you avoiding at all costs?
All right, the person I'm avoiding at all costs, it's going to sound crazy to say this, but the person I'm avoiding at all costs, like I don't want no parts of no type of beef with him, is Dwayne Johnson, right? Because for one, he not going to take me serious as a human being, and then once I get to annoy him enough, he going to squash me like a little bug, dog, because he take all them. Never mind, I'm going to say that for another show. But anyway. The person that I probably would, want to, have beef with, that was a great answer, Josh, because, that's a lot of pay. But here's what I'm going to do. I would want to have beef with Drake.
Why Drake?
Everybody that has had beef with Drake, they end up being friends with Drake afterwards and making a lot of money with Drake. Think about it. Everybody that has had beef with Drake. Meek Mill had beef with Drake. Pusha T had beef with Drake. Everybody had beef with Drake, and now they rich. They get more money than they had before they had beef with Drake.
Well, Pusha T was rich before he beefed with Drake.
Yeah, and Meek Mill was too, but they really own now. You get what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Yeah,
Chris Brown had beef with Drake.
Honestly, I see. Saying Chris Brown almost made me want to change my answer because I'm thinking like, who would I want to beef with? And like, it's easy to me. It's easy. If I got to pick a celebrity that nobody likes. Pick a celebrity that like, oh, you beef with them instantly, like makes you a good guy just because you're beefing with them. So I was thinking either R. Kelly or Bill Cosby, but Chris Brown is also in that same stratosphere of like. But the only problem is Chris Brown is young enough and free to where like. He get people jump, and I don't need no smoke with that. I don't need no smoke with that. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I've seen Chris Brown and his entourage before. I would have no problem there. None. But I think I'll go with Bill Cosby. He's super old, got cataracts and all that, can barely see and whatnot. Yeah, I want to smoke with you, old guy. Yeah, how about that? The one that I don't want beef with, Diddy. I don't want no smoke with him. None. Yeah. Every single person that he has ever beefed with, they have met an unfortunate end. Every single one of them. Who has beefed with him that came out okay? And I don't mean dead. I mean literally. Bro, look at what Mace is doing now, bro. Look at what Mace is doing.
This man doing.
That man got a pod with Cameron, bro. What are we doing here?
Hey, listen. My runner-up was 50 Cent. Everybody that have beef with 50 Cent, it don't end well for you.
Yeah, you just gonna be embarrassed.
Floyd Money Mayweather has the most money in the world, and 50 Cent exposed he can't read. Everybody walk up to Floyd like, read a book. Like, bro. Hold on,
Gibbs. I think your microphone is not doing what it's supposed to do.
I can't hear you.
we cannot hear you. No, sir. Nothing. IT Gibbs is back. We still can't hear you. Listen, man, let's text this man.
All right.
This man's going for a minute too.
But anyway, man, why he get that together?
Still nothing. Nothing. Nope, can't hear you.
Anyway, got it, man. So,
he's not here. But go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a good one you picked, man. Kashi, not everybody that beef with him, it be play beef, it be staged, and that's free pipe for you, man.
Yeah, we trying to make some things move, man.
Yeah. But all right, man, we get into these NBA playoffs, man. I think the Denver Nuggets played last night, man.
So I think a lot of people looked at game to the fact that it was tied 1-1. I think a lot of people looked at the fact that the Heat tied it up in game 2 and there was 1-1 to say like, hey, this might be a series. This might be longer than we expected. The Heat, the Nuggets didn't protect home court. But when you're watching the actual game, that's the importance. That's the reason this podcast is called Facts Over Acts. When you're watching the actual game, that box score is not as important because that's a game that the Heat played. I'm not going to say almost perfectly because Jimmy had a bad game, but Rose players knocked down shots. Bam looked like one of the best versions of Bam that we ever seen. The Heat were firing on all cylinders, especially in that second half. And that's a game that if Jamal Murray get another chance at it to shoot that 3, we go into a game that's going into overtime. The Heat only won that game by 3. They were hot. The Nuggets controlled the pace of the game, which they did in game 1. They did in game 3. I know the playoffs were about adjustments. I'm not going to count Heat and the Heat and Coach Spo out, but I still think this is over in 5.
So interesting take you had there, guy. Interesting take. So here's how I feel, right? I agree that I think the Nuggets end this pretty quickly, but when I look back, right? When I look back at the bubble series, right? And I know the teams have grown since the bubble, right? The Nuggets got older, the Heat got older, The Lakers beat this Nuggets team with some of the players that are on the Nuggets, right? With LeBron and AD being the helm. If you remember that year when the Lakers won the title in 2020 in the bubble, what position was everybody raving about LeBron playing?
Point.
Okay. And what position was everybody telling AD he needs to play?
They was telling me he need to play the 5. He just accepted that this season.
Exactly. So what to me, what we're seeing in this playoff finals is a watered down version, of course not the real deal, but Joker accepting to play the 5 role, because Joker could play the 4 theoretically.
Yeah.
Like if Joker had a 5, he could play with the 4. But Joker accepting the 5 role and Jamal Murray embracing that I'm a 2 guard, but I'm going to play the point guard position, right? If you look at their stats are almost similar, which means they both are successful at every asset of the game in their positions, right? And then what else did the Nuggets add, right? KCP, great addition to the Lakers in that bubble series, right? KCP was in there. Okay, you got Bruce Brown, great addition to the Nets earlier this season. He was one of the reasons why, last season, he was one of the reasons why the Nets were, somewhat successful before they got swept with all the chaos.
Right.
Then you also had, in addition to that, you had what's the name? Michael Porter Jr. He was actually healthy for once. And then you added Aaron Gordon since the bubble. So to me, Guyton, this team is similar to that 2020 Lakers team. And the Heat got 2 games on them then. So I really, really think that the Heat win one more game just because, Spo gonna make some adjustments next game.
But I also think you looking at a Heat team that, 1, had better role players in 2020. 2, a more athletic version of Bam. 3,
you don't think he's still athletic though?
Not as much as he was 3 years ago. If your name is not LeBron James, every year that you spend in the NBA, that athletic, what do they call that? Your dunk card got another ticket punched on it every season you play.
Yeah, but I'll say this: Bam is still young enough where I don't even think he's hit his peak yet. Does that?
You don't think so?
Nah, Bam like 25, right?
No, I think Bam 28. I'm gonna say 28.
Nah.
Oh, Bam 25. Bam 25.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, he hasn't been in the league that long. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you said that, no, Bam,
I feel like Bam been around for forever.
I mean, because he came out one and done. So, I mean, yeah. But he came out that Kentucky team when they had De'Aaron Fox. He's the same age as De'Aaron Fox. No, the year after De'Aaron Fox. Sorry.
Yeah, he's the year after Fox.
Yeah. He came out the year after De'Aaron Fox.
Bam, 25?
That's what I'm saying. So Bam has gotten better, and I think his athleticism has gotten better. That's why I was like, you say he declining. I think he a little hobbled right now, but
yeah, you know what? I think it's a better version of Bam that we can see.
Exactly. I think Bam still got levels like he can. So, because he just started getting into the playmaking last year for real.
Right.
So he could be a watered down version of a 0.5. So I think Spo get the guys, one more game. But what I don't think happens is that they win in a blowout fashion like they did against the Celtics. I think that the Nuggets have too many weapons, too many bags in their arsenal. And I think this turns into a quick series for the Nuggets. Like, at the end of the day, this Nuggets team, I just described to the audience, now that we got Gibbs back, how similar this Nuggets team is to the Lakers team if AD accepted the 5 role. And because LeBron was playing point guard that year they won a title. So this team currently constructed is similar to that, and that won a championship quite easily. You beat every team. I don't think they even went to a game 7 that playoff run.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, no. Exactly. So that's that. I think the Heat. I think it's easy work for the Nuggets. Sad to say, I'm a Heat guy, but I think the Heat they cooked in 5.
Listen, the thing that I think is most interesting about this is Heat culture is important and all that. But at the end of the day, you need some Larrys and Joes at some point in time. And this is no disrespect to Gabe Vincent. You're not Jamal Murray. This is no disrespect to Caleb Martin. You're not Aaron Gordon. Like, that's the reality. Listen, I know Zeller was the best player in the nation in college. That was a long time ago. My brother in Christ, Indiana is far behind you. So, that's just sorry about the technical difficulties. Y'all know my Wi-Fi came with a can of Campbell soup. So that happens from time to time. But I'm back.
Do either one of y'all believe into the narrative that's on socials that the Nuggets run if they win this championship is considered invalid because they played 2 8 seeds and a 7 seed?
No.
I mean, I don't.
You can only play who's in front of you, and I think at the end of the day, I think it's super lame because if we wanted to look at this happened and that happened that were out of teams' controls, how many championships would be valid? So we take this one and say we got to throw it out. Okay, last year's champs were who?
The Warriors.
Okay. And on the Warriors run, who did they play? I'm pretty sure somebody got hurt playing the Warriors last year or was out before they even played the Warriors. Did the Warriors not play the Clippers last year? I want to say.
I think they did.
No, they played the Nuggets. They played the Nuggets. They played the Celtics, Nuggets.
Yeah, they played the Nuggets. Jamal Murray was hurt.
Oh, yeah, Jamal Murray was hurt, yeah.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? So look at the year before that.
Right.
Look at the year before that.
Yeah, they played the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, and the Mavericks.
But look at the year before that. The year before last year where you played Jamal Murray-less Nuggets. Look at the year before that. Wasn't that the bubble?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one is automatically thrown out. The year before the bubble, who won it?
The year before the bubble was the Raptors. Yep.
Come on now. Come on. Weren't KD and Clay hurt? KD tore his Achilles.
It was KD, Clay, and Draymond was hurt.
Okay. The year before that?
Warriors.
Was it
2018 Warriors? But that was the KD leg.
So who did LeBron have on his team with? There was a real
Jordan
poster.
Clarkson.
There was a real poster, a real finals poster that featured Tristan Thompson and Kyle Korver as your 2 and 3.
Don't forget about my boy Deli.
That happened.
Deli wasn't even there, I don't think.
I don't think Deli was there for that last one, was he?
Man.
Was he? I don't think he was there.
They traded Deli to Milwaukee, I think.
Go back to the first win with KD. Again, wasn't that
2017. No, Kyrie was there. Kyrie was there.
No, but no, Kyrie left, didn't he? That was the year he said he wasn't going to Boston, wasn't he?
No, Kyrie stayed 2017.
Kyrie was there 2017, yep.
They won one game. They lost 4-1. They was mad at he get swept. The Warriors were mad they didn't get the sweep.
Oh, okay. So I guess we just came up with one legitimate championship out of all. Wait a minute. Was that one of the years?
There's no legit championship ever. You can put an asterisk to everything.
But that's my point of saying this. At the end of the day, Giddy's champs, it doesn't matter.
I'll say 2010. 2010 was the last one where it was
Perkins was hurt. Perkins was hurt for Game 7.
You just brought up Kendrick Perkins on this show, man.
Hey, bro, who rather had guard and Andrew Bynum? Kendrick Perkins or a 38-year-old Rasheed Wallace?
I'll take.
Who was the?
No, bro, you taking Perk.
Who was the other dude? Who was the other dude with the headband? He was like a 3-4, but he was like known for 3 and D. Was it Posey? That like he was,
James Posey?
Wasn't he down there too?
No, ain't no way they had Poe. They might have had Leon Poe down there, who was
Poe. That's the one I'm thinking of. Okay,
Poe was about Gibbs size playing the 5.
Yeah. Poe wasn't. He wasn't it. Yeah, but either way you cut and slice it. Like if you want to say, well, it's not legit because they did this or they did that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can only play who's in front of you. What were the Nuggets supposed to do? Were they supposed to go? Was Jokic supposed to get traded mid-series to go help out Giannis to beat the Heat and then get traded back to the Nuggets, even though the trade deadline had already passed by about a half a season? And like, what is he supposed to do? That ain't his fault. That ain't. If a win ain't in the recipe for the 1 seed, then the win ain't in the recipe for the 1 seed. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell y'all. Also, coming into the playoffs, just like most of these other teams that we've talked about, LeBron in the bubble. Everybody said, or the Lakers in the bubble rather. Oh, this team, they just got healthy and they got advantages from the bubble that nobody else had. Wrong. They were the number 1 seed in the West by a mile. And I want to say, weren't they the second best team in the NBA or were they first in terms of record overall? The Lakers, the bubble year. Were they first or second?
Second, I think. They were behind Milwaukee.
So they gave up home court advantage only if they would have played Milwaukee in the finals. And who did they end up playing in the finals?
Miami.
So they would have had home court advantage all the way through the playoffs if I remember that correctly, right?
Correct.
Most of these teams that we're talking about winning championships are 1 and 2 seeds. The best teams win.
Yeah.
That's how it works out. What do you want from them? I think that's just a very, very terrible argument. And,
so one more question for y'all. If the Heat found a way to win, is this the most impressive playoff run y'all ever seen?
Yes. By a mile.
Yeah, by far. But it ain't even close. It ain't even.
Better than 2011 Dirk?
Yes, but yeah, by far.
Dirk
still had Hall of Famers on that team.
He did, but he also beat Portland, LA, and OKC and Miami in one playoff run.
Don't put Portland in there. Don't put Portland in there.
They had B. Roy and Aldridge.
Don't put Portland in there.
There was a 50-win team, bro.
Don't put Portland in there. Don't listen. I love LaMarcus Aldridge. You know I'm an LA stan. Don't put Portland in there.
Like B. Roy was
Corey yelling, "Why is who in? Why is who in?" Batum
was on that squad, wasn't he?
Batum, yeah, he was either a rookie or a second year down that squad.
Yeah, he was the 3, and then Andrew Miller was on that team still, wasn't he?
Listen, however you put it, Portland shouldn't be in that conversation. I'll give you beating Bron and beating Bosh and beating Wade. I'll give you beating Kobe and them. I'll give you that. Don't put
OKC was young too. I don't know if you put OKC on there.
I got one more for y'all. We weren't around to witness this live, but I did a little digging before the pod. Is this more impressive than the 95 Rockets playoff run?
Now that one,
that's a good one.
They were 6 seeds.
I'm a Rockets fan.
Technically, that Rockets championship is one that got a super asterisk by it.
How?
Who was out of the league when that happened?
Man, so what?
Bro, he chose to retire.
All I'm saying is...
No, I agree. I don't actually agree with the asterisk. I think it was an excellent playoff run, but I'm just saying, if we're talking playoff run, at that point in time, you're talking strictly narrative. Like, let's just be honest, right? We're not talking about what the metrics say this team was the best ever. We're talking about, from eye test and narrative and what you believe, who would be the best. I would have loved to see Hakeem the Dream go up against Jordan. I would have loved to see that. That would have made...
All I'm saying is... In the first round, the Rockets was a 6 seed.
Yeah.
They beat the Jazz, who had 60 wins, with Stockton and Malone, The second round, they beat Phoenix, who had 58 wins with Barkley, and then they beat the Spurs, who had 63 wins and MVP David Robinson, and then beat 57-win Magic in the finals.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I don't disagree.
That run was one of the reasons why I'm a Rockies fan, but it's Max Strus and Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin and Kevin Love at 37, 38 are starting in rotation.
And watch this. Here's another fun fact, that this will be the first ever time in NBA history that a team beats the 1 seed out of both conferences. It'll be the first.
Yeah.
This will be the most impressive. There are ones that are close. Don't get me wrong. There are ones that are close. We will never, I don't think that we will ever see in our lifetime a team beat both 1 seeds again. If that were to happen here. I don't think it'll happen. Because think about the amount of effort it takes to beat one seed.
Right.
Just one. And then you beat them, and then you go on to take on the other 1 seed out of the other conference, which means you have objectively played 2 of the best as an 8 seed. As an 8, you played the best coming in, and you got to play the best to win it? My brother in Christ, there's no arguing this. Both beating the one from both conferences as an 8 seed is crazy. That's unhinged. Yeah. That is, especially now that the play-in is a thing. So now you got to add on an extra game on all of that. That neither one of the 1 seeds had to take.
He played 2 extra games, didn't they?
That's true. But I can't give them the benefit of that because they lost the first one. They were supposed to be the 7th seed, but they pissed down their leg.
Yeah.
So I can't give you a benefit of like, oh, you lost. You know, you played the extra 2. Nah, you played the extra 1. I give you 1 because you won that one. But, you know, I think this will be the most impressive. I don't think that there's much argument in terms of that. And, you know, now we're talking about the on-the-court situation, and I'm sure that y'all have already alerted the crowd of why the name of this episode is what it is. But we've got to talk about the Buns.
No, we saved it for you. We saved it for you. We want you to bring us in on that one.
Well, for those of you who don't know, there are 2 stories developing by the number 1 and number 2 draft picks of the NBA draft. What was it, 2020?
2019.
2019. Oh, my God. They've been in the league for 3 years now. Ew. That's gross of them. That's gross of them to not know better by now. But anyway, we have 2 South Carolina products. Ja Morant of Sumter, South Carolina. Zion Williamson, who both of his parents, HBCU alums, South Carolina State alums. Boy, what a way to find out you're having a grandbaby. What a way. What a way. But Ja Morant's team is claiming that the gun on the IG Live was a toy gun. And Zion Williamson, after the announcement of his child coming into the world pretty soon here, adult film actress Mariah Mills went to Twitter to basically expose Zion for playing more games off the court than he did on. So, fellas, which situation do you think is worse? Like, if you had to pick one and say, all right, I'd rather have this one than that one, which one would you personally have?
If I had to pick one?
Yeah.
That's tough because I think that Ja's situation is more dire. If I had to pick one, though, I would pick Ja.
Mm-hmm. No,
because if I was in the shoes of Ja, let's say me and Ja switch bodies today, yeah, I would be in trouble. Yeah, I would have a reputation. Yeah, I'm gonna get suspended. Right. But the way to rectify this is to put your head down, shut up, and play some basketball. Which is why it's a more redeemable situation, but it is the worst situation. Zion's situation isn't that bad. He a young dude with some money. You know, he got a phone. He saw some things that he liked. He has access to those things because he's Zion Williamson. Mm-hmm. However, now we're involving bringing children into the world, something that none of the 3 people on this show has done or planned to do for a considerable amount of time. And Zion is much younger than us. Yes, he has money, but at the same time, you're bringing a child into the world, and guess what that child has to deal with long term?
The ramifications of how they were brought into this world.
Exactly.
And what's going on surrounding them and their gender reveal announcement.
Yeah, so Ja has the worst situation, but I also would pick his over Zion's.
Okay. All right, Chris, you
wholeheartedly
disagree
with that.
Talk to me.
Wholeheartedly. Let me talk real quick.
Talk to us,
man.
Talk to us.
Listen, man. Every day you go on social media, it's a guy getting outed. Okay. Every day you go on social media, Zion did what normal people do every day. He just got money. Okay, I can't count on my hand how many times a girl that tried to out me. I'm gonna put my business out there. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I can't count on my hands how many times that had happened to me. I ain't that man no more. But what I'm saying is, I have no problem cleaning that up at all. You know how you clean that up? You stop messing with that girl. That's how you clean it up. And then people forget. Oh, he just another guy that just he play games with girls. That's how that comes up. Another guy that just play games with girls. And then they forget about it. What John Morant is doing is tarnishing his image. He's tarnishing his image. Now, I'm Nike. I want him to wear these shoes, but ain't no telling who he gonna stomp out in these shoes. It just ain't gonna sit right with me, you know? Also on top of that, he's also a reflection of his whole entire family now. Okay. Now we live in a world. I'm not gonna say it because we on Twitch, but we live in a world where certain people don't like certain people, right? Y'all know what I mean by that. Certain people don't like certain people.
Yeah, for a myriad of reasons, of course.
Yeah. Now, and when you put that image on yourself, right, you give them justifiable reason to close doors in your face.
That's fair.
So I don't care how much he come back and win after this. I don't care. End of the day, he is gonna be known as a thug. Okay.
I would at this level I would disagree though. If we were talking about like a mid-level player, yeah. We're talking about an all NBA player. It's players that's done far worse, and if they hooping, they good.
I will get, and let me show you this. The trend in this behavior, right? It's another hooper, right? That we seen do stuff like this. It's a whole nother hooper. He went to Michigan State. His name is Keith Applin. If you Google Keith Applin right now, he's doing 20 years behind bars because he could not get his act together. What he's doing right now is painting an image where he's going to be a habitual if he does get into some trouble.
But I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised by Chris's answer. I'm extremely surprised by this. I am shocked, honestly.
The difference between Keith Applin and John Morant is Keith Applin never made the NBA. John Morant is an MVP candidate.
Hold on.
That's the difference. Ja already made it. If he shut up and hoop, he cool.
I gotta pull the Chris angle on this thing because I'm surprised he didn't pull it. Folks, we call Chris the money man, the man of the plan, because normally he has the foresight to look at the long term. John Morant lost himself a lot of money.
Exactly.
On this Supermax deal, right? About how many dollars per year do y'all know he lost?
He lost about at least 15. At least
15. Yeah, I think 15 a year.
15 per year. So what? Over 4 years or so, right?
Yeah.
About 4 years. $60 million, okay? $60 million. Here's the number that I need y'all to keep in mind. The number I need you to keep in mind is 264. Do you know what that number represents? There are 12 months in a year. If you have a child that you are obligated to pay child support for, by most states, if that child goes to college, you have to pay at least through their undergraduate education, which will put you at 22 years old. 12 times 22 is 264. Now, I'm going to break down this math for you. Off Blake Griffin's contract, Blake Griffin was paying $258,000 a month. Do you know how much Blake Griffin will have paid in child support by the time that child gets their undergraduate degree? $68 million. That
was my next point.
For just the kid. We're not talking about the fact that this objectively, while we all like to pretend it won't, this is hurting Zion's image too. There are a lot of brands that will no longer be like, oh yeah, we want Zion as the face of our brand because of this. Because you have two women, and this is, and let me say this right now, let me make this clear. Anybody who hears this, please know, I am a womanist. I don't believe in slut shaming. I don't slut shame men. I don't slut shame women. I don't slut shame non-binary folks. However, when we're looking at these brands wanting you to represent them, it is much like we're talking about with John Morant, in that having a gun is your legal right by the Second Amendment, brother. More power to you. flashing it in a certain way is not good for the brand. My brother in Christ, having two women who are adult entertainment stars going back and forth over you on the internet. So now you've given up the 68, unless you marry this young woman and stick with her forever, unless you stick beside it forever. You've given up 68 there. And then, and mind you, that 68 is based off Blake Griffin's contract, which, by the way, the Pelicans paid Zion the Supermax. They are not on the same type of deal. So the money Zion going to have to pay is probably going to be more than that 68. And on top of that, the fact that you're going to lose deals from family brands because you have two adult entertainers fighting over you, my brother in Christ.
Also, do you know the difference in the two? How do you rectify these situations as athletes? You keep the trouble off of you when you play basketball, right?
Yeah.
If you needed one of them to play a basketball game today, which one is going to be available?
What you mean?
Zion ain't played in 2 years.
Oh, well.
Okay. So it's a reason why I didn't go to money right, Gibbs. It's a reason why, and I wholeheartedly agree with you with that. He did mess up getting one of them pregnant. That's where it gets messy at. Well, we've seen it happen in the NBA several times. You brought up a good example, Blake Griffin. Okay, it's a lot of people in the league that have done that. Yeah. But here's where I didn't bring up the money for it. Before Zion could even put on an NBA jersey, he had a $75 million deal from Jordan, right? Before he even put on a jersey, he had $100 million with Mountain Dew. Before he even put on... So what I'm saying is, when you get to a certain point in life, as far as Zion, he getting paid $254 million over the next 6 years. When you get to a certain point in life, money is money. That's why I didn't go that route, right?
That's
money is money. And because many NBA players in the league have done this before, you will forget about Zion a lot quicker than you will forget about Ja Morant. If Ja Morant has to sit out 50 games next year, you don't think that when we talk about Ja Morant in the future and he come back nasty and his team don't make the playoffs and he made his team suffer, they trade him to, let's say they trade him to an expansion team when they opened up expansion teams and he don't win nothing after that, you don't think that he would be worse off than Zion?
But that's counting on a lot, because like that's right. Like if first of all, Ja Morant is still gonna be Ja Morant. Like when he gets back, for example, even with Zion's injuries, I count on him still being the Zion that he was when he's on the court. But I said all along he can't be on the court enough. I said that when he was drafted. I said the guys behind him are gonna have a better career than him because his tail can't stay on the court. That's just the fact of the matter, and that's just what we've seen. Even with all of the Pistol Pete antics, Ja Morant has played exponentially more games than Zion Williamson. But if we say the career trajectory that they're on now, we say, okay, Ja Morant took a slight detour, but he goes back to that career trajectory. You're telling me that he still doesn't end up having a much better career than Zion when it's all said and done? Stop it. Stop. No way. No way. Zion is looking like Greg Oden just with two adult stars at the moment. That's what he's looking like.
Greg Oden ain't get a Supermax. Greg Oden ain't
he looking like Greg Oden with some cheeks on him. That's it.
I would go Oden because Oden didn't put numbers up.
He looking like Brandon Roy with two BBL shorties on him. He's the Brazilian Brandon Roy. Congratulations. Like, what are we? I'm sorry.
Just a quick cutoff to get some comedy in there. What's a more accurate representation of how players play? Draymond shoot like he got on a book bag. Jokic hoop like he got on flip flops. or Zion hoop like he got quarters in his pocket.
I'm gonna say Jokic's playing in flip flops.
I want to go with Draymond shoot like he got a book bag on because you know the exact form. You know the exact form.
You got to get low because you got that weight on your back.
And you got to push it so your back really don't move much.
You ain't trying to have your book bag slap your back, so you got that's all arms.
That's exactly how you should. But I'm gonna tell you this. Hey, honestly and truly, I think that both of these young men can recover. I don't know if both of them will, because while I for me personally, anytime you bring in a life into the world, that always makes the situation much more complicated. But if we're just talking about on the court implications or their financial implications or whatever the case may be in that world, I mean, like, yeah, neither one of them have done anything that horrendous, but it's just one of these moments, man. Bring back vets in the NBA. Bring back vets. Yep. Who's the oldest guy on the Pelicans right now? Who's
Valanciunas?
CJ McCollum, CJ McCollum, I think actually.
And how old is he? What, 30?
He's a good vet though. He's a solid vet.
But we don't have enough vets that have like.
We ain't got enough OGs like Miami or has.
Listen,
so Garrett Temple is technically on the Pelicans roster. He's 37.
That's a solid vet too. That's a solid vet too.
Under that, you have Valanciunas and CJ McCollum are both 31.
Your vet has to be somebody that plays, bro.
Larry Nance 30?
Yeah.
When?
Oh,
he's been in the league for a minute, bro.
But I feel like
he's been here for a while.
Did he not get drafted the same year like Brandon Ingram? Like he got drafted in like the mid 2010s, right?
But he played a lot of college.
Okay, all right. I didn't know he played that many years in college.
Like Jose Alvarado. I want to say Jose Alvarado's like 25 or something like that.
He is.
But that's because he played all of his years in college. So we're not used to seeing that. We're used to seeing 19-year-olds.
Right. We got to circle back to something though, Gibbs. That guy you said when you was offline. That brother said Bam is losing athleticism, and I told him Bam is 25.
I thought Bam was older. I thought Bam was 28, going on 29.
What? No, Bam was another one of those guys that he did maybe 1 or 2 years at Kentucky and came right out.
He played the year after De'Aaron Fox, and he came out straight up.
Yeah, I know he didn't play more than 2 years. So he played 1 year. He was the one and done.
1 year.
The one and done.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. I knew Bam wasn't old. I knew Bam wasn't. Because, again, when I saw bro at the I can't remember what the name of that spot is. It's like Frankie's or something like that. It's like a little adult arcade joint down here. When I saw bro, I was like, oh, man, I need to take a picture with him. And the shorty I was with at the time was like, yeah, my uncle he used to play in the NBA, and he lives in my auntie's garage now. And I'm like, all right, man, I don't want to look like a groupie in front of this. I folded in a major way. But at the time, if I would have knew what he was going to become, I definitely, honestly, if I just could have had the brain I have now, like, even if it was somebody that was going to live in their auntie garage or whatever, I don't care. Who are you, lady? Like, what?
What they got to do with you?
Exactly. Right. Either this is going to happen or it's not. So, you know what I mean? Like, that picture is not guaranteed. But, yeah, so that's Bam ain't losing athleticism. If anything, Bam is approaching his peak. I think he still has another level.
That's what Chris said. Y'all right.
Not only do I think he has another level that he can hit, I think he will hit another level offensively in the next year or two. I think he goes to another level. And him and Jimmy Buckets.
I don't know. Now that you said that, Gibbs, you know how you are with your big speech.
Wow. That's crazy. It's crazy that y'all do me like this. So let me ask y'all this in terms of the Zion and Ja Morant situations. Is there anybody that you look at and feel like you feel a great amount of like, that's tough. Like I feel really bad that this has happened for this person. Is there anybody that you feel that for in these situations?
No, I mean,
they grown men, bro.
Don't get me wrong. They're young, and young people are going to make mistakes. But at the same time, like none of us have made mistakes that dire, and we don't have $100 million. I'm
gonna tell you,
you give me $100 million right now, you might never see me again.
The only person I feel bad for out of this situation is Zion's unborn child, because like that's a nasty, and potentially his parents, because like imagine that's how you find out, like, because I mean honestly, as the son, you're not gonna tell your parents like, yeah, mom, she was a cam girl when I met her, and and she's pregnant now. Like you're not gonna tell your mama that. So like his moms and pops probably had to find out like via Twitter, like.
Yeah, I don't.
This is what our grandbaby mama gonna be doing.
Now that I think about it, bro, this is what I just got angry again at, bro. Because if I'm Zion, why are you on Snapchat, Zion?
He's 20. He's what, 23?
He young.
He's 23,
bro. Ain't nobody been on Snapchat since 2018.
Young people be on Snapchat, bro.
I will say this: I'm not communicating through Snapchat at that level. Like I'm not doing that. That's crazy. That's crazy. At the end of the day, I'm a grown man. I'm gonna text you what I want to text you. Like, right. I said what I said. What you gonna do about it?
Why are you on Snapchat and then you like if you want to say something crazy, you don't want nobody to document? Call them. Like
I mean, even if they do document it, what are they gonna do to you, Zion? I give you a perfect example. You know whose old lady stuck beside him the entire time? Deshaun Watson. His old lady from before is still right there.
Hey.
You know why? They say that folks like to heal like Wolverine when that bank account is sitting right. So guess what? If she was to post screenshots of you texting or whatever the case may be, might even post your number online because she mad. Oh well, go into AT&T, go into Verizon or wherever. I hope you don't got Sprint or Boost Mobile, Zion. I hope you're not playing it crazy like that. I hope you're not playing it crazy like that, brother. But just go ahead in there. Hey, I need a different number. Yada yada. Change your number. Keep it pushing. And let that be that. You know what I mean? Like, but again, for the unborn child, that's a very nasty way to come into the world. Like, yeah, after my gender reveal, immediately my daddy's side chick pulled up. Or honestly, yeah, I'm a pregnancy of the side chick. Like that was his actual girl. That's crazy. That is. Yeah. That is. I thought that I had
that little boy or girl gonna get cooked all high school.
Listen, I thought I had a traumatizing
maybe not.
My mom thought she had cancer when she was pregnant with me. She said that there's like a growth and it like hurt all the time. And then she went to the doctor and they were like, "Where's the growth?" And she like pointed to it and they were like, "When's the last time you had your period?" And she was like, "I don't know, like a month ago or so." And they were like, "Okay, well just be on this stick." Boom, me. But like that's worse. That's way worse. That is exponentially
I will say, Chris, I know we say all the time with kids in this situation, like, oh, they gonna get cooked when they in school. But I think when you rich, it's a little different.
Is it? CP3 said his daughter get cooked because he don't got rings.
Man, I don't really know. I can't see private school kids being able to cook like that.
Is CP3 lying? Has he been lying to us all along?
I don't know, man.
Yes, he has. He told us he was addicted to making the finals, and he ain't made the final six. I'm upset. You just said that grown man ain't lied to us. Shut up.
Listen. In all fairness, people kick addictions all the time. He kicked that mug cold turkey. He kicked that one so clean. I ain't never seen nobody beat an addiction like that. That man gonna be at the next Sanders resort. Hello, everyone. I'm here to help you. I kicked my addiction in literally 2 days flat. 2 days after going to the finals, they never saw me again, and I was addicted. So I'm going to help you all do the same thing. But no, and on a more serious note about Chris Paul, he has officially been waived by the Phoenix Suns. Folks, what's next for him? What's next for him? Where does CP3 go from here? What is the fit? What is the team? And let me ask you this. Did somebody claim him off waiver wires and, eat the full contract first?
I don't think anybody accepts him off waiver wires, but if you're Chris Paul, you're still a productive point guard. Like if you're playing at your absolute best and you're healthy, Chris Paul is still his absolute ceiling, I would say, is 13. If he's in the right situation, if he's playing right, Chris Paul can still hit that level. However, you need to, one, get healthy, and two, assess the best situation to get you a ring, sign that mid-level exception, and go ahead and sign with Boston, go ahead and sign with the Lakers, go ahead and find out what situation can get you that ring where you can still be productive, because time is ticking. You don't think it is?
This is a Rolex. The time ain't ticking. It's just rolling. That time is rolled on by. That time is gone.
I mean, I feel like a lot of us have seen it. It happens to almost every athlete. We've seen it happen to every athlete not named LeBron James. There's one pivotal moment in your career to where you're like, okay, this is officially washed. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Paul had to wash allegations on him for a number of years now. But getting cuts, that is the official stamp that you're washed.
I disagree. I just don't think the Suns front office is smart. I just think they're not a bunch of smart guys there. I'm sorry. And I hate to say that because I love.
They got James Jones in there.
And that's the part that kills me. I want to say James Jones is smart. I knew when they matched DeAndre Ayton, I said, oh, this is unserious. They're a bunch of unserious jokers here. Because either you should have paid him or let him walk. You had a superstar who already had issues with his motor, and you let another team sign him. And you only bought him back after that other team signed him. You basically said, hey, I don't want you. I don't want you no more. You get out my house, leave to your shorty, and then you saw her at the club with another dude, and baby, come back. I ain't mean it. I was just playing. Nobody make them eggs like you do. You know, you throw the garlic in them eggs. You the only one to do it for real like that, man. I need you. Now you look crazy. You look great. The Suns look crazy. And guess what? When you do that, sure, she'll be back and happy for a minute, but eventually she's going to go back to doing everything that pissed you off to begin with, and even worse because you let her go the first time. And did I lie? Did it not happen? Did they not have to play Jacques Landale in the NBA playoffs because of this? I'm sorry. I have no faith in the Phoenix Suns front office. They traded pieces, traded depth to end up in a worse position than they were in the year before. I just can't believe in them. But proceed, Chris. Tell me what's going on with Chris Paul, where he go. I just don't think he's washed because the Suns decide to cut him. Because according to that logic, that would mean that DeAndre Ayton is immensely valuable because they signed him back, which we all know that ain't the case.
True.
Listen. I'm going to talk again, okay?
Talk to him.
I don't know where on God's green earth, you getting your supply from. Because frankly, Satan's no more. So I don't know.
You don't think Chris Paul washed?
Chris Paul being third team as a ceiling? Did you just come out your mouth?
Yes. If Chris Paul played his absolute best basketball, you don't see him making third team?
Do you know how many guards are good in the NBA right now?
Yes, I'm well aware.
Do you know James Harden didn't even make an All-NBA team?
Okay, so let's say there's a universe to where next season Chris Paul signed with the Celtics. The Celtics are a 1 seed, and Chris Paul average 17 and 11.
You think Chris Paul averages 17 and 11 when Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum shooting 25 shots a game?
In the right situation, Chris Paul can give you 17 and 11, bro.
What, Chris? You're out of here. You're get out of here.
Chris Paul can give you 17 and 11, bro.
You see how they touch the assists. He might average 15 assists, but he not scoring 17 when they getting all the shots.
It don't matter if he put up 12 and 15. He gonna make 13.
When the last time CP3 got close to 17 a game? When the last time?
Oh look,
Chris.
don't worry about it.
You on one right now.
I'll look. Don't worry about it.
You acting unruly right now, Chris. What?
When the last time he been close to 17 on a regular basis? Like I'm talking like a stretch of games where he had 17 points.
Chris, in 2021, the man averaged 16.4.
He still didn't average 17 is what I'm saying.
He averaged 17. When he was in OKC, he averaged 17.
And how many years ago was that, Gibbs and Guyton? It's almost 2024, guys. We're midway through the year.
Okay.
And you're telling me he gonna go back, turn the clock back 4 years?
If he's on a situation where he playing with two players that's gonna get doubled a lot, yes.
Not only that, Chris Paul, the most underrated part of Chris Paul's game, in my opinion, is his catch and shoot ability. His ability to be a catch and shoot guy. I'm not
taking away from him as a player.
But here's what I'm saying. Here's why I'm saying that. He's going to be the guy, the catalyst for the offense, the playmaker for the offense. Sure. But you know what he's also going to be that those two needed, that they did not have a lot of times in these playoffs? He's going to be a pressure release valve. When you have to double them and say, all right, we got to leave somebody open, and Chris is the guy you leave open, congratulations. You just left a career 37% free three-point shooter that was 38% last year because his shot is not going to leave him till he's 60. You got to leave him open. And like, I'm not saying that Chris Paul is going to be a crazy, like, oh, yeah, this guy's 20 and 15. I'm saying that 17 and 11 is possible. That's very possible. But even more important than that, I'm a big guy on total points created. He can surpass the amount of points for 17 and 11. He could go 12 and 13 and 15, 16 with that team.
I'll say this much. In this last season, Tim Duncan made All NBA 3rd team, averaging 15 and 9.
But Tim Duncan is a much better defender than Chris Paul. And that's not to disrespect Chris Paul because he's a good perimeter defender, but a good perimeter defender changes the situation for one player. A good interior defender That whole
So let's take it down a
game.
peg. Let's say Chris Paul averaged 15 and 11, and the Celtics have the best record in the league. That's not
I
all
think
NBA 13.
the talent too spread around the league now, bro. The talent too spread around the league now.
I mean, here's the thing of why he has a good shot. Here's the thing of why he has a good shot. If you look at the situation around the NBA, it's kind of set up for a guard who don't belong to sneak in this year. It's kind of set up for a guard who don't belong to sneak in. So that's why third team is possible for him. Think about it this way. Think about it this way. Hear me out. Dame and Portland, that relationship, everybody don't want to say it. I'm going to say it. That relationship is unsalvageable. That's done. That's over. Remember, there used to be a time where people would float hypotheticals to Dame, and what would he say every time? Man, I'm in Portland. I don't even want to talk about that. Now, well, I look good over here, but I'll probably look better over here. Well, I want to go over here. Okay, that relationship is unsalvageable, meaning he's going to have a tough time making it there. Steph Curry, he's probably going to be one of the guys. Okay, cool. That's what you got there. Ja Morant won't play enough games this year due to suspension. Cade Cunningham should be, but he's going to be a guy that is getting all the attention because who else are you worried about on the Pistons? Ivy? Who else you worried about?
Okay. If you say K, you got to say JG, though. You just got to say JG.
The Rockets gonna get 18 wins. He's not taking Chris Paul's spot on the NBA team.
Hold on.
The Pistons not?
Cade not making it either.
Wait. Here's my thing about Jalen Green. His defense is not like, it's run of the mill or it's bad. He is worse than a traffic cone. He's one of the worst defenders in the league.
Okay, Trae Young's made All NBA. Trae Young has made All NBA, so that okay. What you
Trae Young led the league in assists. Jalen Green not that type of playmaker.
But Jalen Green probably gonna average 25, 26 this year. All jokes aside,
For sure.
All jokes aside, he's gonna average 25.
I'm not disagreeing with you. But
You
you're gonna
just
average
threw
25,
Cade in
26.
there. You threw Cade in there.
Here's the thing: you're gonna average 25, 26, and be a traffic cone on a bad team, and you're gonna make it. Stop it! All of those, that's too much. It's too. You can have one or the other. You can either be a good defender and that scorer on the bad team and make it, or if you talk about Trae Young, was Trae Young making it when the Hawks were bad? When they were bad, was Trae Young on these All NBA teams?
No. But
when they start making the playoffs, that's when he start getting that notoriety. It's going to be the same for Jalen Green.
What I'm saying, James Harden didn't even make it. And y'all telling me Chris Paul at 38 years old on a team where he's going to be the fourth option now.
We're talking max clip, though. If we're talking max clip, then yeah, that's ceiling. Ceiling is everything go right for you. You can do it. Everything go right.
That's ceiling.
Like if you're talking Jalen Green ceiling for next year, I can see him being second team All NBA. Ceiling. Yeah, he can do that. Ceiling. But that's not what I think is going to happen. But that's the ceiling. If everything go right for him, for sure.
Okay. Anyway. My biggest point is, I think the team that Chris Paul can go to and have the biggest impact, right? The biggest impact as far as what he brings to the table and how his workload will be severely, severely decreased because he will not have to play a lot of games, right? When you put all of that into consideration and you pick a team that you really, really say, okay, you're a guy that you can come here, we can win without you so you don't have to play. I think he should convert over to a sixth man and he himself should join the Denver Nuggets. That is what they're missing.
Chris, they finna be champs. They're not missing
anything. They're not missing nothing.
They're not missing anything.
That I know, but that's the best scenario for him. That's the best scenario for him.
The best scenario for him, we've already talked about what the best scenario for him is. It's either gonna be you finally gonna be a Laker 13 years later, or you go join the rivalry on the other side with the Celtics, because Lord knows they need a playmaker. But honestly, I'm going to say it, and y'all might, I'm probably wrong here. I think the chances of him getting claimed off waivers are higher than people believe.
You think so?
I think the chances of that happening are much higher
than
Chris
people.
Paul.
I mean, it's Chris Paul.
Number one is Chris Paul. Number two, how many young point guards? Everybody's drafting a young guard right now. How many of those young guards could use a mentor like Chris Paul? We just talked about two of them in Cade and Jalen Green. Jalen Green, although he is ball dominant, is not a playmaker. If he gets a playmaker to help him so that he can play off the ball and all that, he looks even better. Cade Cunningham, ball dominant playmaker, sure, But what would it hurt to have a guy like Chris Paul that, like, I mean, whether you want to or not, brother, we paying you, so you got to play here. Teach our point guard how to be the guy for the next 10, 15 years. Teach him how to have the type of career you had. Teach him how to do that. This man said, you know how everybody does 2-for-1s in the NBA? This man said he wanted to get a
3 for 2.
3 for 2. That is insane. He thinks about the game differently than everybody else. And that's one of those moments that shows it. Teach our guys how to do that. And that's, we just talked about those two, but how many other guys, how many other teams have a young guard that could, reach out that way? I'll tell you, a team that knows they're not going to get nobody good via free agency, but if you trade for, or if you pick them up on waivers, the Pacers.
Yeah.
Come
Halliburton will really learn a lot.
Come help. Exactly. Could Tyrese Halliburton come over? And watch this. There'll be a playoff team at that point. There'll be a playoff team.
I think if no, they are. But if the Pacers were healthy this season, they would have been a playoff team.
Yeah, but you add in Chris Paul into
they would have
it?
been a play-in team. I don't know about play-off.
If you add in,
no,
but that's
I
what
think
I'm
5
saying.
seed healthy.
Okay, so they're a play-in team this year without Chris Paul if they're healthy. This year, the next year they get Chris Paul. I think they're playoff.
Be honest with
I
you,
think they're sliding to a
Brooklyn
6.
Would be another. If you want to be a mentor, Brooklyn would be another good team for him to go to.
But you see what I'm saying? There are multiple options where it's like, dude, I understand that $30 million pill is a lot to take, but a lot of the way the NBA is set up now, everybody is either going for the championship or tanking, and there's very few teams on the in between. If you're tanking or you're building up to getting into that championship run, go ahead and pay that man that money. And go on and get them.
The Raptors, one of the only teams in between that just won't.
Hate that for them. Absolutely hate that for them. So, but last thing we're going to talk about today, because we need to get this. I need to get this off my chest. And I know we by the time, but I need to get this off my chest. Jay Will of ESPN, I forget his whole name. Is it Jason or is it just Jay?
I thought it was just Jay.
Okay, yeah, Jay Will of ESPN said, Jimmy Butler right now, playoff Jimmy Butler is harder to guard than Kevin Durant or LeBron James. Can we please stop mentioning LeBron? I'm getting so tired. I get so sick and tired of it. What are we doing here? I get it. It gets engagement. It gets clicks. You're going to have the people who love LeBron coming on there to say, oh, my God, you're an idiot. How stupid are you? You're going to get the people that hate LeBron to come in and say, yeah, he's better than La Flop or La Beijing, and he's just better than that guy. Jimmy's number one. Everybody's better than that top 50 player all time. Of course. But, can we stop it? Is it not getting old? Does it not feel old?
It is. It's getting old. It's been old. But I thought about it the other day because I forget what I was watching and LeBron came up. Not a lot of people are because Jay Williams was a basketball player. He was a cool player. He got injured pretty early in his career. I think he had a motorcycle accident, so we never got to see his full potential. But he was pretty highly touted. He got drafted high by Chicago. People thought Jay Williams was going to be a hooper. A lot of people, especially in the media, I've noticed, are not okay with seeing people younger than them hoop. And LeBron is the ultimate example of that. We see so many people older than him hate on him because, I'm secure enough that if I saw somebody younger than me in my field, doing a thing, I'd be proud of them. Keep pushing the game ahead. But a lot of people, and y'all probably experience that, Chris, you are in a pretty high level position in your field.
Oh, they hate me.
How many? Exactly.
I'll give y'all a story real quick. I'll make it quick because I know we run out of time. Literally, a director told me that I am too young to have experienced enough things to be successful in my job. Literally, he said you need to work at least 5 more years, at least be 30. But this is when I was 25 years old.
And you know why?
Hate.
Because when he was that age, he ain't did nothing.
I do fractional recruiting, and it's the same thing for me. When I come into a company and they're like, "Wait, you're the interim head of talent," I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. That's what I'm gonna do until this contract is done." and like everybody thinks I'm older because of the bald head. And whenever I'm like, yeah, I'm only 27, they're like, what? I'm like, so my strategies that just hired 4 people in 2 months was good a week ago, but now all of a sudden you looking at me with a fine-tooth comb because you found out that I just got bad hair genetics. What a terrible human you are. But no, that's fair. That's fair.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm gonna say this. I can't remember when it was, but this was like a long time ago. Like I remember it had to be no later than like 2009 because the film it was in was like very old and ugly looking. And LeBron James was in the locker room and he said, people gonna blame me for everything. If the gas is too high, blame LeBron. Your kid got a bad grade in school, blame LeBron. All that good stuff. I'm tired of it because it doesn't make sense. And if we wanted to actually delve into this, and this is the reason that I made the topic, are we tired of everybody talking about LeBron instead of like, is Jimmy Butler, is playoff Jimmy better than LeBron? Of course not. We know that. We know that. We've seen this. Of course, we could put together empirical numbers to talk about this. We could put together shot charts to show. Sure. But what's even better than all that? Finally saying, you know what? We're not going to buy into this anymore. This is going to be the last time we talk about LeBron on the topic that doesn't involve him, by the way, on this show. Like, this is going to be the last time. Because when you look at it, it takes such a toxic form that you have to hold players up to LeBron's standard in order to say, like, are they doing well or not? Which de facto means that you're going to end up undercutting what they're doing. Jimmy is having a fantastic playoff run. He's having a phenomenal playoff run. If you compare that to LeBron and say, well, how is his playoff run up against LeBron's standard? Then you're going to have to denigrate Jimmy and say, oh, he's meh. He's meh compared to what? The greatest player of all time? Like, sure. Yeah. If that's what you want to say, it's meh next to, sure. It's meh. Then you're saying every playoff run in NBA history, except for maybe a few ones by Wilt way back in the day, Dirk Nowitzki in 2011, and if you want to go across sports, maybe Larry Fitzgerald the year he set the record for most receiving yards in the playoff. Everybody other playoff performance besides those is meh. That's what you're saying.
You know what? Can we do something? Probably not next week because we're in the middle of a finals, but during the summer, the sports, news cycle is pretty slow. Mm-hmm. Can we just do a top 5 show? And I'm not talking about top 5 of like, what do you think is the best? Because that's all subjective. Like, it's no way to measure who's the best basketball player.
Right.
Just when it comes to anything, let's just list our 5 favorite things. Who your 5 favorite hoopers? What's your 5 favorite movies? What's your 5 favorite albums? Because I'm tired of having these conversations about, if Jordan played today, see, they got these rules, and if LeBron, guess what? It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
We never going to see LeBron play Jordan, so guess what? Whoever you like, that's who you like, and I'm fine with that.
We are never going to see what it would look like with Dan Mahuro trying to check LeBron. We're never going to see it. We're never going to see it. We're never, as much as we would love to see Danny Ainge in the post against LeBron, we're never going to see it. As much as we'd love to see Jordan on the switch with Trae Young, we're never going to see it. Also,
can I say something to old heads real quick? Sometimes I just randomly watch stuff just because, I wasn't there to experience. I watched almost every game from the 1989 playoffs. Mm-hmm. That is the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. If you were athletic, if you were fast, you was just at the cup. And the only reason it was tough defense is because if they didn't want you to score, they hit you with a rock bottom. That's not good defense. That's assault.
Again, the fact that Isaiah Thomas was known for having these crazy handles, and I watched a dribbling mixtape of his, and it was literally like, I'm looking at moves
basic cross.
I'm looking at moves like, wait, so he's dribbling with his left hand?
In the 70s, early 80s, Bernard King was considered the best ball handler in the league. He couldn't go left. Yeah. Jaylen Brown looked at this man and said he ain't got handles.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And Jaylen Brown, Lord knows, you make that man go to the left, it's like a Beyonce to the left because it's very replaceable at that moment. It's everything you own in the box to the left. It's a nasty time for him. I agree, man. I agree. Again, I'm just tired of it. And again, we're done with that on this show. No longer will we be bringing up LeBron unless it's something about the Lakers, unless it's something about LeBron, unless it's something about, oh, he's considering retirement. Let's talk. Because this is just terrible. It's too much, man. And you would think with all the money, with all the manpower and all that ESPN has, like they wouldn't be going for like, all right, this is low-hanging clickbait. You would think that wouldn't be the case. And yet here we are discussing, is LeBron or is Jimmy Butler harder to guard than LeBron and KD right now?
Exactly.
I get so sick and tired of you redacteds. I get so sick and tired of it. But I know y'all tired of us talking about LeBron because we tired of talking about LeBron, and y'all tired of us talking about the NBA Finals and Zion and these BBLs and Ja and these toy guns. By the way, Ja, we know it wasn't a toy. Take your 50 games like a man and shut up. But come on back the next week and the week after that and the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.